thing that's worth the cost to update, because eventually you're going to circle back, because it's going to be, it may or may not be effective to update. Can you know what I mean? So like you swap what your focus is because you've reached a point where you're kind of stalemated for a bit.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But I do the same thing. Well, I mean, I don't get kicked out of mines often, but I understand what you're saying for trying to gather those crystals in the level 7. But also a nice trick is that Soul taught us is on Fridays, when people are hunting their speed ups, go into mines and go through your revenge list, because odds are they have a lot of their stuff turned off. So that would be a good way to collect those crystals on a Friday night with, and maybe revenge and get all of your things back. But yeah, I mean, it's all those little strategies that are kind of help you get that little bit farther ahead when it comes to some of this stuff. But
the tactics, just to get them to post what the minimum kind of collection of crystals is needed to max out all of your meteorite items that you need. I think that'd be really helpful.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even something I've ever really thought of. But yeah, that would be an interesting tier list of like what that looks like cost wise to that. But yeah, I'm again not a tactics person, but yeah, I mean, all of that stuff can help. So now the next part, there were a couple more things on the update I wanted to cover. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, because some of it is, the regular stuff, but there were a couple adjustments that I found fun to talk about. And the first one was optimize the point acquisition rule of the gathering task. Increase the event points obtained by gathering resources, except for diamonds. And I know this was discussed heavily after the first update that changed gathering, because it made it very challenging. And I think there was a lot of player frustration, because we all want our creature remains and our SVS shells. But I think that this new update is awesome. I mean, for me, I'm an intermittent gatherer. I've never invested a ton of time into being like an expert gatherer like some. But even in Raider, which I don't tend to change out of often, I can get my points overnight sleeping almost, which I love. What about the rest of you?
I never
kind of only
played in
gather
Raider.
if I'm forced to.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But it's nice to have it optimized that way. So like, for example, I kind of went through, but if you were before the update, it was, if you gathered 4 sand, you got +4 points. Whereas now, if you gather 4 sand, you get +8 points. So it's pretty significant when it comes to the ease of gathering. Like, you're not having, I know for myself, I know some players like really calculate, like if I, switch to rate, like they have a calculation on what time they start gathering and how much. And like, I am not worried about being first. I am worried about getting that 9th shell, especially because, being close to the end of T10 guards, every tiny shell counts for me right now, or the creature remains counts for me right now. So I definitely like this update. I don't know how the rest of you feel, or anyone out in the audience who wants to come up and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm curious to know
Don't be
what
shy.
Sarluna means when she said she had to gather so much more. Like more.
Maybe to be first, because
because everybody's going hardcore now.
I think that
to
was
be
just the
first.
error
Yeah,
in the
I mean-
patch, wasn't it? Not just the error where it was
Yeah.
giving out too many points per gather item, and then they fixed that now, haven't they? So we're back to it.
I don't
being
know. I just got my 9th shell and never looked at it again.
There was some mail about that Gigafox, you're right, but I
Yeah.
didn't understand what it was about, so it didn't affect me.
I think they screwed up the algorithm of collection. So you were getting, I think, something like 10 times the amount of points for what you were collecting. So everyone that was gathering was kind of hitting, first, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Well, and I guess too, so Luna just posted, I'm used to meat and plants, and now sand gatherers have overtaken me. So I mean, I guess maybe that part of the algorithm has changed. Like for me, I used to just always send all my stuff to plants on gathering day, and then like that's what I gathered that whole time. And then when I'm not in gathering SVS, I just gather whatever I want. So I guess maybe there is an actual change. That'd be something that someone else would have to speak to, but there must be a change to what's the best thing to gather on gathering day.
I mean, they made adjustment as well after they raised up points of each resource. There were some players who were complaining that they weren't able to get the 9 shell, but they already adjusted it, so it's kind of easy again to gather the resources to get the 9 shells.
Well, and I think in season that's so important, because the only time I really gather in season is when I'm logging out to go to bed. So I fire off my 1 troop to Warzone construction, the other 3 troops go into gathering so I can get little fruits and stuff, and then I go to sleep. And then I don't tend to, especially depending on where we are in season event, relook at gathering at all until bedtime. So this helps me a ton to not have to worry about gathering, because there's so much sometimes going on in season that something has to give.
Definitely. I mean, now it's not really important when you start together, because that kind of destroyed your planning. So most of all, when you're in season, you want to build towers, take over buildings, but about 50% of your alliance are already gathering on Mondays. And you're like, so what now? Do we waste now time because we weren't able to build anything before? Or what should we do now? And for some alliance members, they were like, but that is unfair, we need the points, blah, 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 and now it's not necessary anymore. Because you can gather late and you still get the 9 shell.
Yeah.
So there's no excuses to not show up and build towers.
Definitely. Screw them.
No excuses. Start. Build those towers.
Build faster.
Truth. Well, I mean, anybody else want to add anything to gather?
I'm sleeping. No sleep, Conic. No sleep.
I really need to try gathering in Raider class. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, I just gathered in plants, and
I think always gather as a Raider.
I used to only gather with 3 troops and then send my 4th troop to go do the tree task as soon as reset hit, so that I could do a Raider task on gathering day.
What is a tree task?
Oh yeah.
What is tree task?
But I mean, that might not be a trick that a lot of people know. Is some people you send your troops into the tree, to do your Warzone construction as a Raider, but you can switch to a cultivator to gather after you've already because you can switch your type after you're in Warzone construction. At least I used to do that all the time.
But you have to wait for 2 days, 3 days if you don't have the ticket for it to change. Nah.
Yeah, but I got tickets.
But I mean, I pick it up. I pick it up in the VIP store and then hardly ever use it. So I tend to accumulate.
But
I tend to accumulate.
These are unnecessary spendings in the VIP shop if you're lacking of diamonds. You can better buy some other stuff.
I mean,
which are more shiny.
I'm not lacking of too many things, but. But I'm actually going to look in my inventory and see how many. I have 5 change class cards right now.
I'm lacking diamonds.
No, that's not something I. Although it would have been nice if maybe they improved the gathering of diamonds, but for our free to play peeps or anyone really.
Get it's for the free to play. I think that's another good thing. So
Mhm.
like, you know, most of us that are getting diamonds and spending in the VIP, we grab that card and we switch if we forget to do it pre-pangolin in time. So the people that don't have the diamonds actually making it better is it's a great thing for them.
Yeah, like Lulu
Absolutely.
said, I would love to switch more often between classes and optimize that. Yeah, that switch between classes, and honestly, an easy way to switch between class buffs. Those two things would be like, and I don't know why, I don't know if you guys do this thing, and this is a total aside from the conversation we're having, but when I go to change class buffs, like I want to hit the queen and be able to see the class buffs, and I don't know why we can't, and it just bugs me every time. I have to go find that skull building that's randomly placed somewhere in my hill that I forget about all the time. So I feel like you should be able to like hit the queen and see your class buffs of the type you are. But anyway, that's my
Yeah,
thing.
it should be like, you're right, it should be
Oh,
linked.
like the actual buffs you select there. I know.
Yeah, so like for an easy way to change it out. So if you're, instead of having to hunt for the building, you just tap your queen, and then you see your class and you can switch from raider to whatever. And then also go in and see the buffs and change those if you're doing Pango and stuff. I always found it weird that you couldn't. Just my thing.
That is actually a
I'm
very
super into pro land and them, like going in and changing your buffs to gathering buffs instead of attack buffs. That is deep. That is deep.
Well, I do that for the Pango. I change all my buffs out for the Pangolin every week because I like to see my where I improve and stuff. Like, and I try to be very consistent about how I set everything up. So I change my mutations, I change my reforms, and I change my class buffs for every type, along with all the ants that I'm using.
Do your special ant
Now I
reforms
feel
too?
just useless. I've never changed the class.
Sorry, what did you say, Jake?
Do you change your special ant reforms as well? To put
Yeah.
all the attack ones? Wow, that's dedication.
Just for, but the thing is, and I've always said my biggest competition is myself. I want to see. Now it's a little bit frustrating with Pangolin because like some weeks it feels like it's been nerfed. Like I swear there's an algorithm somewhere where it's like the level of, like there's a switch somewhere on the wall in the fairy offices and they're like, Pango's going to be this hard today, and Pango's going to be, because I can have the exact same setup and nothing changed and my scores are just not just not
They're
hitting.
just not working. Yeah.
Yeah, and you literally scour your hill thinking you've forgotten to change a buff out or something. And sometimes you do, but other times I'm like, no, it's the exact same setup as last week and I'm 100 million short. So I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I like to do that for myself because it's a good way to track my progress on like how I'm improving, because I don't know,
Yeah,
I'm
but
weird.
it's still an RNG. You have luck or you have no luck. So you can't
well,
really
yes.
measure it on that.
Truth. But it's just for me. It's a fun thing I do for myself. But I swear,
totally
though, one of
agree,
these
Nam, because I do the same. I change everything, the reforms, the mutation, everything.
So
And
yeah,
when
I don't know.
when I forgot something and my my damage is not perfect, I'm like, oh, it's because of that, because I forgot to change something.
Half the time for Pangolin, I don't even use my attack and defense. 25% buffs. Or
And then of
20%
course
buffs.
there's Miss Queen in the chat who's got got sheets for it.
My new personal
Calling
hero.
me
honestly.
over-organized.
Yeah, like here I
Amazing.
am thinking, I might have my stuff together a tiny bit, and Miss Queen's like, bam, I got a checklist for everything. Really, I'd love to see her checklist for everything because it would probably make me a lot less lazy. Okay, and there was one other feature I wanted to cover from the update, and that was the claim all feature. So it changed that you could claim all on Strongest
Yay.
Warzone, Colony Action, Warzone Supply, and the Force series events, which are the bait events. Oh my God. I had no idea how many things I clicked on a daily basis now that I don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And even, like, how do we all feel about this new feature?
Satisfying.
Super cool. Love,
Mhm.
love.
Much love.
There's some, right? Like it just, like what I like most about it is, like it shows you everything you're collecting all at once in one clean space. Like it's just so tidy. It just makes my little heart happy.
Mm-hmm.
That like I can see all, like Warzone, hit night shell, collect it all at once, get to see everything, like the total amounts of, I don't know. It just makes me happy. But yeah, I think this feature's awesome.
I posted the
I think it
screen in the chat so everyone can see it, how it looks like. Of course,
and
I'm
it optimizes
also sharing
gameplay.
it.
Oreo's taking full
yeah,
credit for this, by the way.
No, I love it. I love it. Was that your suggestion, Oreo? I don't know. It's perfect. I love it. Because there's a lot. Like
that's an actual reward, isn't it? Rather than the one-click 100 diamonds, 60 diamonds. Seeing it all there is stunning. I love it. Absolutely beautiful. So thanks, Oreo.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, when you like, I know for many players, sometimes the time you have in the game is limited. And so to be able to go through and get a lot of those like dailies done or whatever you need to get done and be able to like clean it all out all at once really helps you not forget anything. It kind of just, I'm all for time optimization because I know a lot of us invest a lot of time into this game. So these little, it seems like a little convenience, but it really does make a big difference to gameplay and player enjoyment, even though it seems like such a small thing. But I love it. So that's all. Anyone else got anything to say about that?
Look at the honeydew. So nice.
Yeah, I love it.
And we all know we love our honeydew.
Definitely the NPCs as well. They still love my honeydew.
All right. And I do not want to fail to mention, now that we're kind of moving on from the update, is the wonderful and always anticipated 10 hatch has arrived.
Yay!
Well, arrived and went away again. But it's something that I see lots of players ask about over and over and over and over again, when it's coming. So we always seem to be eagerly anticipating it. And this is the first one, I think, and quote me if I'm wrong, that we've had with the new sort of separate hatch pools, like the newest updated hatch pools. So the bane of our existence for a long time was the spiny. I want to know who the new spiny is in this new hatch pool and what people think about that. Because I don't know about any of you, but I have a lovely friend named Z who absolutely loves to wish spinies on everyone the day of hatch day. And so now we need a new ant because you can't really wish spinies on us. I've seen Ruby Slender be the new.
There's a replacement. Ruby Slender is top choice for me.
as the new spiny is the Ruby. Yeah. Maybe we should have a poll, like who's the new spiny. But
I also got a Ruby Slender.
Here's my hatches from this week. I did get a Ruby, so apparently I've been spinied or rubied now. Who knows? But sadly, I did not get myself an SSA yet.
Again?
But
I'm sorry.
Sadly. I know. It'll happen. It'll happen as soon as I no longer want it. I will get like 12 of them. That's what happened with Weaver. What would be the ant you guys were wishing and hoping to hatch with the 10 hatch?
Honestly,
did you have a wish list?
I would be happy with.
Any carrier?
I mean, I would also like to have the silver, but I can't really complain, to be honest, because I got my white crystal, it has stars. I got my red velvet, it has stars. I got my Harry Panther, It has no stars, but it is my first Terry Panther. I got my first Weaver. No, my third Weaver Ant. It has still no stars, but I got it. I can't complain, to be honest.
I mean, I'm not going to complain. It's just time and waiting, and especially when you only have one ant that you really, really want. I mean, the odds of getting it are pretty low, but I feel like I'm reliving Otto's, what was it? The
Wise Berserker.
no, the Wise Berserker. I'm having my
my
Wise Berserker moment where I'm never going to get the SSA.
I mean,
But
King
look at these
Sam's
hatches.
supposed to do that. Look at that. Rainbow
Jeez.
wings. That was mine, Sam. Sorry, they've made a mistake there. Like,
But I
Seems
think
like,
too, like
the Ruby Slender is the new.
is the new. My other question would be, aside from what ant you were hoping to hatch, are you on team hoard all your orange eggs until the 10 hatch event, or hatch them as you get them? Kind of like, how do you choose to play your game? That goes for people in the audience too.
I used
do
to be a
10 hatches
hoarder.
a week.
Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
what?
There you go, Jake.
Oh, I used to definitely be a hoarder, but with these new hatch pools, I've just been so greedy. I've been hatching my eggs like no other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You Fox?
Yeah, I mean, I can't afford to. So, I mean, I do 2 hatches a week because I use special ants as my free day. So, I mean, this delayed gratification thing just doesn't work in my brain. They're there. I need to use them. I'm sorry. It has to be happening.
What about you, Charmaine? Hoarder or not hoarder when it comes to your orange eggs or golden eggs or whatever?
Both, to be honest.
Mm.
I'm both. For example, the hatch event 9+1. I used them on Wednesday already, but not all. I waited for the Thursday as well, so it was kind of 50-50. But I hatched on Wednesday better than on Thursday.
Yeah, I know there's some sort of algorithm to that with the hatching, but that's also a way above my area of expertise and knowledge. I just hatch. Now, do you do like any kind of pattern? Like, do you have like a like a hatch idea? Like, I have players that have been like, I hatch 5 of each kind in a row. I hatch where I like just pound the hatch button until I empty everything. Like, it's like, how do you have like a trick to how you hatch, or you just go for it?
Bang, 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 till an orange flash comes up.
Yeah, sounds the same. It sounded familiar.
I know. I've tried both. Like, I literally have been like, I'm gonna hatch 5 of each kind and see if it makes a difference. And I don't know if it really does, or if there's some trick to it. But Miss Queen's like, I wait for specific times.
Yeah.
Come on, the times can't matter.
No way.
Sometimes it
That's
does,
ridiculous.
to be honest. Sometimes it does. Most of all,
I
when
think
it's Thursday, you have to hatch them like 7 minutes past when the event starts. You get there a load of golden
Oh my
ants,
god!
but it doesn't mean that you get those which you want.
Is that how many you have now, Oreo?
No, you said before.
That's insane.
That's where all my orange eggs went.
Yeah.
I would love, you know what? That would be an interesting thing to see. Who has, like, because I don't think I've ever had more than 500. Like, at most in my orange eggs. I don't think I've ever, maybe even less than that. Because I'm not one that sits on them very often. And the only time I tend to get a lot is when I've maybe made a purchase that involves those. But not the eggs themselves, but something that they're added bonus. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see who's ever hoarded or collected or held on to orange eggs. Like, is it, I mean, could you imagine someone who has like 2,000 or 3,000? That would be insane. Because 2K plus, oh my god, stream opening. That would be so cool to see, but insane.
If I would
couldn't
have
do it.
that much NIM, I would screen share with you.
Oh, please do.
Aw.
Oh my God. That's crazy. I think it's something
Selling tickets.
we'd really have to have a separate episode of like people like hatching event because it's really satisfying to
that would-
watch.
Definitely.
I think
No.
we could take some bets on it too.
I mean,
Take some
we could save for now our eggs, and when the next 9+1 event starts, we could open them up here in live stage.
That could be a cool competition.
Oh my God, that would be so hard. That would be so hard to do though.
It would be
But
so
I mean,
hard
hey.
not to open them.
That's what I mean. Like you have to get, and but the cool thing is too is you have to get really creative about getting your SBS points on hatch day because there's like other ways to do it. So that would be an interesting option.
Mhm.
That would be
Or-
cool.
Oreo
I
could
don't
be
think
the
you need
sacrificial
hatches.
lamb. Save
Yeah,
up
right.
all of his eggs.
Like we just watched as he hatches them. That'd be awesome. All right, I think that we've covered super fun 10 hatch stuff. Now that we have to cover a topic I am not super familiar with because I am not on server. So I'm hoping that the chat peeps can help us out. But there is a new alliance trial on server called the Frilly Lizard. I think that's what it's called, but that's what I'm calling it.
Mhm.
I don't think it's officially opened. My understanding that it is in the bait trap phase. So it's basically, I think, in the phase where it analyzes your server level. Let's get some photos down. And so it'll be, I'm guessing, from my understanding is it's to go by the level of your server. So the difficulty level, just like when we get, I think Groundhog Revenge goes by level of alliance, something like that. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting event for those who are on server for it. And I hope that players can maybe give us some more information because I don't even have a farm right now because ain't nobody got time for that. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's kind of cool that they're looking at server content that for players that are not on events. That thoughts, feelings.
It's good. I think we spoke about it before. You know, I'd like to see on server events which are specifically just for alliances that stay on server. I think the end date for this is going to run past when we get back on server, isn't it? But I think anything that adds to kind of the enjoyment on server if you don't go to season is all to the good. So like someone's just put in about any tips for it. I don't think the cooking instructions were what they were after though, to be honest. With veggies
Yeah.
and rice. But I mean, it looks like from the other images, it looks like it's kind of another kind of push for everyone to max out their daily tasks. The daily tasks are what are going to give you your donation materials, and your donation materials are then going to be able to kind of level it up, get your higher buffs, which then gives you higher attack on the Frilly Lizard, and then again more rewards for your alliance. So you get more community chests each time you attack, and you get more per. So more buffs give you more chests, essentially more rewards. So it looks cool.
Yeah,
That's
it
very
looks
cool.
super cool. I think
it looks
it's.
way
I mean, I
better
think
than
it's. Yeah, and it's a personal base. There's from what I can understand, there's personal rewards. There's so individual rewards, alliance reward, like, and then you get rewards for being like the top in the category. But it's my understanding. But I mean, hey, I think it's great. I love that it's not sitting by the squirters like the other rainbow lizard is, which that's what I call it because it's easier to say for me. But yeah,
Mhm.
I think any event that allows you to work together as a team and to gain rewards is good for everybody, for growth and all of that stuff. So I was hoping to have more on it, but I'm definitely not on server and won't see it until hopefully it comes around the next time.
It's a
Yeah.
talking
Hope we don't
point
miss it.
for everybody. Now, what do they talk about when they're on server and we're off at season? You know,
Mhm.
so got kind of some of the lower end of damage and the not so everyday player that's staying on server. So it's something that they can actually have a bit of competition with. You know, they can actually look like they're doing decent damage. You know, feel good about what they're doing on their heals because we're all away. You know, I think it's great, super great.
Yeah. Well, and I was wondering about it too, because I don't know, because I'm not on any of the newer servers, but even for servers, like I'm hoping, and I can't guarantee this for sure, but servers that maybe don't have many or any events open, like early servers, or late, I don't know, young servers, it's a nice little way to catch up on rewards and yeah, have something fun to do while waiting for events and things to open for them. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Victoria
I
said
like
they
it.
got 1 gold egg and 1 exotic as a reward for it. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's quite a bit of rewards if you're just starting out in the game, especially if you have a week.
1 free exotic, it is a reward. In the past, you
It's only
usually
a
buy
1%
it.
chance as well. It's a 1% roll for the exotic.
Oh, you kind of rally it
From
for
my
30
dreams.
minutes.
So Victoria was
So is it-
extremely lucky.
Yeah. So you kind of rally it for
Yeah.
30 minutes. Each person can start 1 rally at a time and join 3 more. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a mix, like it seems like a mix of sort of like what is it? Those insects that we rally when we return, aphids, something like that, like where you have, but maybe not. I mean, maybe. I mean, I have to see it, right? But anyway, I love
it
it.
works like AE with sign-ups. All 4
Oh.
or 5 need to choose a time where it will automatically start.
Kind of like Groundhog then. Like Groundhog Revenge.
Yeah, and then there's a cooldown
Hmm.
time in between each time.
No time gets selected, you can't play. Need to sit there and check out.
Does anybody know if this
okay.
will be around when people that are in a season right now return? I'm assuming it would still be there, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well, maybe it'll be like Groundhog Revenge, where like 1 week is aphids, the next week is something like, do you know what I mean? Like they swap events per week, so it might be something that's added into that sort of. Oh, the event never goes away.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
look at that, Sarluna with all the information. But hey, I'm all for new content, new things to do, keep the game fresh, get more rewards. I think it's great.
Mhm.
I like it a lot, and we last week just read a suggestion of a person asking for something very similar to this, something kind of like the Thanksgiving turkey and the Christmas tree, where you bring items to it to level it up as an alliance, but also something that you hit is what they were saying, and this is kind of basically exactly what they suggested actually.
Like the best of both, yeah.
I'm looking at the cool picture that Jerry posted. We don't know.
Oh my god.
We don't
if
know.
that would be the next one, I would love it.
I mean, it's really cool looking, that's for sure. But
It looks like a shooter ant. No one wants that, Jerry.
no, shooter insect. Yeah,
Shooter
bite your tongue. I
insect,
do. But I'd like it. I'd like it in next pay range.
Black and yellow,
But-
black and yellow.
Oh my goodness. Now we are kind of deep into our Surreal Wetland events. Now I know Jake Dog, you're not on Surreal Wetland currently, but I believe Gigafox and Charmaine are on Surreal Wetland. And we've kind of reached the point where we would last season had reached the level 3 bots. Thoughts, feelings, what does that look like for you guys? Bueller. Okay, I'll go first.
Anybody?
I was gonna say I find the bots a little too toned down, and I can only speak for my own alliance and what level we're on, because I mean I think this is definitely something that's based on your type of gameplay, your size of your alliance, what level you're on. But we have found the bots to be fairly easy to overcome in all levels. Not complaining by any means. I think with the alliance that we have, we could have appreciated a little bit more challenge overall. But I also anticipate, because I mean, this is only the second round from the beta version, that there's still likely adjustments and there's always little nuances that go on. But I wanted to kind of know what you guys felt about your events in particular, and also how it's going in that.
Yeah, I think the dev team have essentially took everyone's feedback, because holy cow, was it all negative or what? You know, when everybody came back the first, I think they probably took that maybe a little bit too far to the extreme now. So the home area is, I mean, for my opinion, I think it's way too easy. I don't think it even takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, we have to remember
the changes. It's a pleasure to fight in the home zone.
But it's not fighting.
It is. I don't know what kind of opponents you have, but we are fighting. But as soon as you're in the clash zone, it's kind of harder.
Yeah, that's it. But I think this was the period now in the clash zone where all of us, no matter the alliance, were kind of like, well, holy cow, I'm done. You know, it was.
Yeah, we were. I think that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, I know for me, like the team I had last season, by the time we had reached this point, there was some serious burnout and frustration and things. Whereas now we're really looking forward to marching towards the other team. Like, we're really going to have some good confrontations and like that kind of gameplay that I think we really, in the end, it's why we go to events for a lot of players. So I like that about it. Could the bots have been a little more challenging for my team in particular? It wouldn't have bothered us much to have that. But I mean, overall, comparative to last season, I am definitely having a lot more fun this season. I'm enjoying logging in more. I can appreciate the changes, but yeah, I mean, that's my kind of feeling on that.
So
I don't know about the
I would
rest
like
of you.
to fight bots for free. In the end, it's a PvP game, so why use all stem and fungis on bot and then later can't fight real people?
Yeah, but I mean, the bots for free, and but that takes. I think it has to be a challenge. Like, I think we play that. Like, I know for me, I play this game because I want the challenge to some degree. I don't want to come in and like I want pushback, so I don't mind the bots having a bit of challenge to them, and it wouldn't bother me to have a bit more challenge to them, because that's the point for me. But I do really look forward to the alliance on alliance engagement in the game, because that's been fun.
I think Flappy's just said the same thing in chat. You know, it's the initial area. I think we all, but maybe that was it. They wanted to stop people giving up so early, because you think so many alliances did quit before they even entered into a clash area. So maybe that's the thought process behind it, is keep it kind of a steadier process rather than it being full send right from the beginning. So if that's the case,
And I mean,
then great.
And I mean too, like last season was like it was so challenging that maybe this season seems that much less challenging because we were all traumatized from last season. I can't think of a better word.
The changes and adjustments are just fair, because last season, the NPCs were super hard even in the home zone. So how they did the adjustments now for this season, that the NPCs are really too weak in the home zone, is totally okay. So they can keep the motivation of the team. And as soon as you're entering the clash zones, you have to prepare and start to fight against the NPCs, because also your opponents could join this clash zones. I mean, we really started to fight with the opponents in the initial areas, and they were hard as hell.
Yeah, I like that's one of the things I like most about the event that we're in now is that we're having more engagement with the other teams because we're not so focused on just getting the buffs and the bots out of the way. Like I find it much more balanced that way. You can get like, you accomplish your targets when you're in protection, clear out the bots from what you need to do, and then are fresh and ready to go when it's time to face off against the other teams. So yeah, overall, I'm having fun.
Charmaine, what you said is spot on. I think, actually keeping the engagement for those first week, 10 days, when you are just working together, clearing out your home area, that's got to be kind of the prime motive behind it. So, but I think we spoke before, I'd like to see some kind of small increments being added across updates until we find the right balance, because yeah, we need to look after, the lower end of the players, but also it's got to be challenging to keep the bigger players motivated. I think we need to find the balance. So I think little updates, small increments in kind of their aggression and their power, and then I think we can kind of look to find a better balance going forward.
I mean, what I didn't figure out is, for example, in the last season, there were some trigger points, for example, in the clash zones. Like if you have a tower for the medium, which has the supply medium, you are not allowed to join the tower with more than 7 players. Otherwise, you will trigger the bosses. And on this season, I don't know, we kind of just went in. There's no strat, no tactic, no nothing. We just joined the towers. I don't know if you guys still doing the tactics like last season.
You don't have to. The team I'm on is so active this season that really, if you don't send troops, you are not getting in the tower. Unless, if you are fighting, we do get kicked out. But we don't. But
it's not that hard like last time. You have really don't any chances to go in or to go back.
Right. The only tactic we've carried on from kind of last season was the occupying areas around the tower, just to kind of push the bots further away so their march time increases. That's kind of the only tactic that we've carried forward, really.
Yeah, we haven't had to do
something.
Too much.
They need to create a new event where one player controls a bot team and has to try and beat all other teams.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'd love to be team bot for a season and just have all the parameters the bot teams have.
Oh yeah,
that would be so fun. So you're already in control of all that, and then have to battle it out. Oh, that would be super cool.
I just want to live inside your head.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, hey, who knows? I mean, we've had some really great events so far. Who knows what the if and when and how and whatever. There will be another event, and maybe maybe they're listening and some of these suggestions will turn into something else. But I definitely like the overall premise of Wetland and where it's going. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what it eventually fully evolves into, but overall I'm enjoying this season so much more. The team isn't burnt out. We've been able to keep I noticed last season a lot of players because of the burnout just came in, did their dailies and weren't really engaging, and were always active. So that's really good to see. I'm looking forward to going back. Last season, this time, everyone was like, nah, we're out. But again.
And now we're going back
the other seasons look like, for example.
Yeah, what does your season look like, Jacob?
It's an island, so it's going about actually it's kind of a strange island. We're having a Baron's Land style island, a big 3v3 fight in the clash.
Oh.
But it's going well.
I mean, is Lost Island still kind of a diplomatic island, or do they fight much more?
There's been a lot of fighting so far. We kind of got jumped in our clash, and then we had a bunch of allies come and help us, so it quickly became from a 2v1 into a 2v2 and then a 3v3.
Oh,
Nice.
And we're beating Oreo, so I can't be complaining about that. I always love to beat Oreo.
Shade, throwing some shade.
Just we throw that in there.
Yeah.
Oreo Road, and I hearing dramas in our seasons.
That's so good. Love that.
Oh, this gift is good. I'm gonna open it.
So we're heading into near the end of the stage today. Only about 10 minutes left. Is there something any of you guys wanted to kind of bring up and chit chat about before we sign off for another Sunday? Anyone in the audience too? Welcome to raise your hand and ask a question. Something we haven't covered.
Anybody?
Or are there any questions?
Yeah. Any
Would you like
questions
to
out
know?
there? I do know there was some speculation, if no one asks a question, about the new, because of course Jerry threw down those images of the new potential, maybe guessing, because nobody really knows, shooter synergy, because that's the guess that everyone has. When, where, why, how, what will it look like? Will it have 20 points? Like the love bug. I call it the love bug, but that's not what it's called, the striped. But yeah, I mean, guys, what do you guys think of that? No?
I just wish it was the carrier one coming out first.
No,
I'm
not.
So is it two shooter mains versus two carrier mains now on the stage?
Seems like.
Oh goodness.
yeah.
Bad
Got
guys
a
and
rivalry.
good guys.
Bad guy. That's funny. I don't know.
Looks like
I
a
mean,
nice-
We could ask
Go
MS
ahead,
Quinn.
Fox.
She's probably got all of the dates that all of the insects came out in all correct order, so she'll know when the new one's coming.
Josh probably got a spreadsheet algorithm that like
100%.
has. She just laughed.
100.
Well, now she's going to. She's going to be like, "Oh my god, now I need to do that." No.
No pressure, but we all need it.
I mean, guys, if you want a guard main here on stage, you have just to apply.
Yes. Yeah. We say that every stage. Come on up, join us and our band of merry craziness.
Lasso, we have our own fun here in chat. Yeah, that's the main.
We do, and we appreciate you. Chat is amazing. But yeah, so we'll see. Who knows? I mean, part of me's kind of because of content for stage. I'd love for the bunch of new content to come out this week and give us lots more to talk about. But in lieu of that, I'm going to remind everybody that we do have a Stage Topics channel, and we are always open to suggestions and ideas and content you'd like to talk about. So please feel free to use that channel. We love getting feedback and ideas because we don't know all of the things all of the time. So without the community reminding us what's out there and what's good to talk about and what is affecting you in your game, we can miss stuff. So that's going to put that out there.
Multiple informations like on the higher server, because we're currently mostly the older server ones, except for Jake Dog, the ex-trial baby.
The extra. Yeah, I mean, if the new servers we want to encourage people on all server ranges because to ask questions and get involved, because there's a lot of knowledge sharing and ideas that can go on. And it's super important to gameplay to ask questions and then participate.
I think that all of us live for that in some way. Actually helping the guys
Mhm.
with the knowledge that we've got now that we wish we had when we did start.
I mean, there's so many things I would have done different. And and not bad. Like everyone plays their game their own way, but it's like if I had only realized. I mean, really, when I downloaded this game, I had no idea there were other people playing it. I thought I was just creating an anthill, and then I went out into the real world and was like, "Oh my, there's other people here." So there's a lot I would do differently. So yeah, it'd be fun. But
Yeah. Just make sure everyone's put their live IDs in for us.
yeah,
In the last
make
5
sure you load up your live IDs. What else? Oh yeah, and a reminder, we do have the YouTube channel, so you can watch us there live. Eventually, we will also include, we will reload it, and it will include the conversations we've had in chat. So you're welcome later on when it's been uploaded to, and to share it with your community. Please go like and subscribe so that we can continue to support the ANTS community, ask questions. Anyone else want to add anything before we slowly look at signing off, because we have a few more minutes? Oh, we do? Yay!
Yeah.
I will invite you to speak. Come on up and ask a question or chit chat. Welcome, Hyperjacks.
I have but one question.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone know if there's going to be an event tomorrow?
I'm sure somebody knows, but we do not.
Can you be more like what type of event? Just
Well, I'm looking for the Iron Elephant to complete my Guardian setup.
Aha.
Yeah, we
The
don't
Iron
know.
Elephant just in the last event before the Treasure Bee event.
The last event was a carrier event, so that would
Oh,
mean
yeah,
that it
right.
was tried. The Black Knight
So-
was in the event before that event.
I think the
So
next
it's a
event
carrier,
will be
yeah.
something with the shooters, because when the carrier was at last, because I think the elephant was just a few weeks ago, I think.
It would have been 4 weeks ago, if I'm counting correctly.
I mean, I have to ask my trial Lasse, because he's a Guardian player, and he is focusing on the elephant. It's his favorite.
Oh,
So,
I know. It's going to be a good ant. I already bought the 2 awakenings
is.
for it, so I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking forward to fighting it.
Yeah, me either.
Oh, I don't know if I'll run it. You guys probably won't see me. I'm in the 1200 servers, so...
Oh, you're
Yeah,
close
but
to me. I'm
Guardians-
in 1135.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no. I'm in 1290 something.
What alliance
Yeah,
are you in?
Guardians on the new servers are superpower on new servers.
Mhm.
Guardians do really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, no. I love Guardians. They're my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first time I've been able to set up a real Guardian team, so...
Well, fingers crossed that comes as the new event, my friend.
Yeah,
Good for
I'm
you.
really hoping...
Bad for us carriers.
If not, then there's always tissues where I work, so you know what? It will work anyway.
Yeah. Seems
Oh,
like
no,
all of us at some point are waiting for something.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
What's the most recent event out for you up in the 1200s?
The most recent event we just had would be the Bees event, but before that it was a carrier event, and then before that it was a shooter.
So, sorry, I meant the season event. Like, you've unlocked
Oh,
Barrenland. I'm
Lost
assuming?
Island.
Okay, so you have.
Is that the only one unlocked for you?
Yeah, no, we've only had 4 Lost Islands.
Okay.
So you should be coming to Barrenland soon. I'm assuming.
I hope so. Lost Island's pretty boring, and this island's been super boring for me.
Well, I hope
I haven't
so
been
too,
able to
'cause
fight anyone
to mash.
because everyone I try and fight runs for me, so I don't get to fight anyone.
Oh, those were the days.
I was gonna say, yeah, I remember when that used to happen to me all the time. You drop your hill to fight, and everyone goes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see you in a barren land soon.
I hope not, because if you're 1100, you'll probably beat me.
It doesn't matter. You learn a lot by getting your butt handed to you.
Oh, don't you though? I've learned so much from it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming up and asking
Yeah.
your question. Can you please make sure that you put your in-game ID in the ID channel so you get a little extra something from Fairy for coming up and chatting with us?
Absolutely, I will do that, or at least try to.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay,
I got
Well,
he
the words.
thank
isn't
you.
sure when the last
Yeah.
elephant was, because he
What?
was focused on the awakening.
Oh, I moved
Yeah.
him to audience, so yeah. But yeah, so we'll see. I mean, the consensus in audience seems like it's going to be a shooter thing, but we'll see. Well, I mean, who knows? But whatever does happen, you can guarantee that we will probably talk about it here on stage next week. We are at the end of our show today. We want to put out a huge thank you for everyone who continues to show up and listen and participate and ask questions. You are a huge part of being able to do what we do. I want to remind anyone, if you are passionate about joining any of our staff teams, there is a staff team out there for everybody. Not all of them include coming up and talking in public. So if you have any interest, please check out the recruitment staff channel. I think it is. I'm sure Charmaine will correct me because that is her area of expertise. Please post your in-game ID in our IDs channel before you head out today. And I think that did I cover everything? Yeah, on the YouTube channel. I hope someone shared the link in the audience. If they didn't, I will go get that now. But it is also in our live announcement, so you can catch it there. Copy link. And yeah, does anyone else want to say anything before we sign off this beautiful Sunday?
All good here.
Definitely a big thank you for participation and the chat. It's always a pleasure with the whole community to talk.
I agree.
Thank you guys for being here, and don't forget to put your ID in the chat, especially Hyperjacks just came up. Have a good rest of your Sunday, everybody.
Thank you so much. Until next week. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.